Demanufacture and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with
OJ from Byzantine. My full name is Chris Ojeda.
Nice.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny because I had to tell somebody outside how your band name's pronounced. Okay? And I always do at festivals. We were talking about festivals. I always do it where the band introduces themselves because I think the worst thing you could ever do is mispronounce a band's name when you're doing press.
Absolutely.
That's embarrassing.
And there's some hard ones out there.
Oh, yeah, there's been some. Now I'm like, I don't really know. So what I do is I'll research and I'll find another interview just to hear them how they say the band name.
Yes.
That's it.
Like,
I don't want to hear the interview because...
Like Sanguisugabog? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I still can't say it. There's some bands I know how to say it and still can't say it, you know?
No shit, man.
And then, like, nowadays, it's so hard to come up with a band name because they're all taken, so they have, like, weird symbols and backward letters or, like, you know, I just interviewed a band that they, instead of A, they had, like, a V in there instead of the A.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what they could do.
I feel fortunate to have started the band long ago enough that we were able to get a one-word, cool band name that actually was a word and didn't have to come up with a fake word.
Right.
So,
and it actually means something.
It does,
you know,
yeah.
opposed to just throwing something out there. Like, I don't know, I think it's cool, too, when bands, like, they throw something out there.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody has a clue or whatever. Like, even I remember back when nobody knew what NIB meant from Sabbath.
right.
Like, and it was like this big mystery of what it meant. And, you know, see, I think that's brilliant because then it's like people are going to, just like when, you know, 1969 radio show where they said Paul McCartney was dead, you know, and I know me, I was a kid. I bought every Beatles album just to check out all the clues of him being dead.
Yeah.
You know, it's wild stuff. And today, I think it's harder than ever for a band, right? Like, to really come up with something brilliant to, you know, market people. Because people have such a short attention span.
Very short attention span. There is exponentially more signal-to-noise ratio going on. Like, there's so many bands and so many platforms to listen to them, and it's like we run into it. Right now we're currently out with Fear Factory. That's why we're here.
Right.
But every
at the Culture Room.
Right.
In
at the
Fort
Culture
Lauderdale.
Room.
I think I forgot to say that. But it is one of my favorite venues in South Florida.
But every show we've done on this run, we're talking to multiple people who are like, I feel ashamed that you've been around 25 years and we've never heard your name. Or we've heard your name, never checked it out. And I'm like, don't feel bad. You're here now. I get it. There is a ton of bands that I've slept on too because there's too much content out there.
You know, it's funny too. Like I said this to you last time we talked, that I found out about your music from Jose.
Yeah.
Listening on Sirius XM. And I was like, man, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like, reached out to Liz. I'm like, I want to interview this band.
I guess all you got to do is hope that you can land a good tour and really make an impact with your live show, which I think we've been doing really solid on this Fear Factory run. We were perfectly primed for this run, and like the first leg we did was them and Cavalera Conspiracy, where we were an older band. Our fans are that age group. We all listen to KSAD and Demanufacture. So putting us on this tour actually makes pretty sense from a age perspective.
I think it makes sense from a music perspective because it's, to me, in the same area. You know, the same type of vibe type of thing. Funny. We were just talking about Cavalera outside, and I was saying to somebody, so I did Bloodstock. That's one of my favorite festivals to do in the UK.
Okay.
And Nail Bomb played. Oh my God. It was like insane.
I bet it was insane. I bet the crowd ate that.
It was insane because I think it was like their first show in 20 years or something. I think it's their last.
Yeah, it was it. They just played the Nail Bomb album, and that's
I was like, thank God I'm here, because it's like those things, like those final things. Like, who would have thought going back to the beginning, 17 days later, we wouldn't have Ozzy?
Right.
Like, you don't think of those things, and it does happen. So I think people need to go check out more bands all the time because you never know when there might not be the next time.
Right. Yeah. Not to get morbid on everyone.
No. It's
but
just like,
it's the reality of it.
Or if you retire, like Megadeth just they're putting out their final album.
Yep.
And I'm kind of laughing, too, because I went to the first Metallica show ever.
Really?
And Mustaine came out after the show and handed me his business cards and Metallica, power metal. There was no thrash yet.
Right.
Dave Mustaine. And then I'm looking at the song list on that final album, and the last song on the song list is Ride the Lightning.
Really?
Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, just knowing Mustaine, I'm like, because it's the last song, that is a big... Hello, that's my song.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
But
cool.
what's been the most fun or exciting or crazy thing that's happened so far playing that recently?
I can tell you for myself what's been the most awe-inspiring and like feather in my hat is that we're massive fans of Fear Factory. Our band has been inspired by them, and to be able to come out here and have Dino ask me from the first day, "Hey, you're going to go up and sing with us. You're going to sing a song with us every night." And I'm like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, get your ass up here, OJ."
I love it.
So he didn't have to do that.
No, he didn't.
Not at all. And for him to be so welcoming, and Milo, their singer, such a great kid, for him to be like, all right, come up, let's work out our harmonies. Because, on our 2017 release, we released a European version that had 2 covers on it, and one was a Fear Factory song. So that is one of the reasons why we got the nod for this tour, is because Dino heard the Piss Christ cover we did, and he reached out to me on social media to let me know that we did. He gave us our stamp of approval.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's always good, right? Because you never know what the original band's going to think when you
they'd be like hating on it, but he loved it. And then when I get out here, he's like, "You're singing it every night with us." So, I mean, I could end it after this tour and be like, man, I got to sing with one of my favorite bands on earth 10 nights in a row, So that's been amazing.
So if somebody came up to you and told you like 20 years ago that was going to happen, what would you have said to them?
No way. No, you're shitting me. No way. I've been blessed. The last tour we did was 8 years ago because we don't tour a lot.
Right.
We're a domesticated, family-oriented band who just so happens to be on Metal Blade Records. But 8 years ago, when our last album came out, we did a month-long tour with Sacred Reich, and I'm a massive Sacred Reich fan as well. Grew up on Independent, cut my teeth on it. And the last show, Sacred Reich allowed me to get up and play Independent on guitar with them.
Nice.
So I've been very fortunate to come away from these bigger tours. They always say never meet your heroes. I've been able to come away from the last 2 and be like, all my heroes are rad. I've picked the right heroes.
See,
They're
love
rad.
hearing that, and I did see Sacred Reich at Hellfest this year, so I was excited about that. But it's cool to hear because, people like to talk a lot of shit, and I found that myself as a press person. I don't listen to the other press people because maybe you were the asshole is what I'm thinking.
Right.
And there have been a couple people artists that were talked about poorly upon by other press people, and then I shut that shit out, and then I would talk to them and be like, what were those people thinking?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've heard that about a few people that were people that I was like, oh, and then they turn out to be the nicest people.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, to be honest, I was prepped by people, friends in the industry, like, Dino might not be the nicest guy. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. We will be respectful. We'll be good Boy Scouts. We'll play our stuff, get out of his way. From the get-go, he's been
That's
all
why you
welcoming.
don't listen shit to anybody.
You know, I'm not listening to any of them. Yeah. And conversely, we've run into people on tour, in our tour parties, that are not nice guys, but I'm not going to, we don't spread that word. We let people figure it out themselves because they might run into a different situation than we did.
Exactly.
So
you never know. And I find I have this scale as a press person. The icons are cool as shit because they have no clue they're icons and they're just there for the music. Like, that's why they're icons. If you go into this, especially this genre, this type of music, to become a rock star, you're not going to become an icon.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You become an icon because you just love playing music, period.
Yeah.
Then you have the lower bands, the new bands, and they need the promo, so they're cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually the middle bands that maybe were famous with one song 20 years ago that nobody cares about anymore, and they still have that ego, like they think they're God's gift to music.
Yeah.
You know? And I think just everybody should be humble and be nice, and like if you have bad situations with people, that's one thing, but just be cool, and everybody else will be cool too.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're out here doing all of this for the love of. Nobody's making a ton of money, you know.
Right.
I make way more money in my day job than I do this. So for me to come out here and give anyone attitude would be, it would be very detrimental to the band, and just me as a person. And then you hear fans saying that bands weren't nice to them. Sometimes you never know
maybe
if
it was your fault,
right? Or you never know if that band woke up and if they've got COVID running through them and they all feel like shit.
Yeah.
Or one of them has a father at the house with Alzheimer's and they're thinking about them daily. So
what great points.
Yeah, this is a tough job to come out and put the right face on every day. But if you have the right touring party, like we do right here with Fear Factory in Byzantine, it's easy to keep your spirits higher. And I think our fans and Fear Factory's fans are probably going to come away from this little run really happy because they've been able to see two bands getting along famously, working well together. And that's how this whole thing stays oiled.
And it's such hard work too. I think people don't realize that just listen to music or go to shows. Like you're saying, maybe somebody's just tired because they've been on the road every day for months, and like whatever.
Right.
You just don't know what somebody's going through. And to me, and as somebody that goes on tour doing festivals, I get it. It's like, it's grueling sometimes.
Yes.
You love it, but it's grueling sometimes. And sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're like, I don't want to do this today.
Right.
Until you do it.
Yeah.
You know?
So if you're listening out there and, you've ever had a bad situation with a touring band just once or whatever, it might have just been a fluke.
Exactly.
Don't write us off. Sometimes we haven't had a good place to shit in a week. And
right?
Yeah. You can imagine how that is as a grown man.
Oh, you know what's funny about that is there's one question I usually ask in interviews, and that's like, one story, good or bad, that when you're like 80, you would tell people or tell your grandkids that sticks out in your mind. The number one answer in like over 3,000 interviews, the number one answer was shitting my pants on stage.
Oh, I bet. I've heard that can happen.
Right?
Thank God it hasn't to any of us, but we don't tour a lot. But there's some people out there that are always on the road, always eating restaurant food 3 o'clock in the night, and may or may not have to shit their pants.
Yeah, and if you're doing a couple hours set, like,
golly.
you can't just walk off stage and go take a shit.
No.
No,
you can't.
So,
that's crazy.
What do you have you played Lauderdale before?
Never.
Really? It's first time in Lauderdale?
First time being in this area. Yeah, we've only toured Florida once, I think, in our history, and that was back in 2004 or 5.
Wow.
I think we did Orlando, maybe somewhere up Tallahassee.
Yeah, nobody wants to come down here because it's rough. You got to come all the way down here to go all the way back.
It's
up.
a longer drive. Yeah. We've done Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Orlando before, and on this run we were fortunate enough to come from New Orleans, do Destin, and then St. Pete, Orlando, St. Pete, and down here, and we love it. Now we have been the alternate band for the Headbangers Ball boat, which is leaving on November 1st.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why we were like, let's end the tour in the Fort Lauderdale area. That way, if they call us for the boat, we're 30 minutes from the dock.
There you go.
The call hasn't came yet, but
it will. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, if it doesn't this time, it will be next year. We're ready.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
we went on that boat, Lamb of God.
Yeah, that's one I haven't been at. I've done Shiprock.
Yeah,
but I would like to do that one. I just hasn't lined up. Timing hasn't lined up.
Well, maybe we can do it together next year.
Yeah, there you go. Let's do that.
Good.
Let's do that.
Third interview is somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico.
Right. So I have a trivia question for you about Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
What is our nickname? Our meaning South Floridians' nickname for Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, this has to be something. You guys have named it. It's not like a statewide thing or a countrywide thing. We won't find it in the geography book, right?
No. And I'll give you a hint. We were talking outside about spring break.
Yeah.
It has something to do with stuff that goes on at spring break or anywhere in South Florida all the time.
I would say, does it have anything to do with wet T-shirt contests or Girls Gone Wild or what?
It's not girls, but what goes along with that partying is alcohol.
Oh.
So think alcohol, how you could fit that into the name of Fort Lauderdale.
Let's see. Fort Lauderdale.
And I'll give you another hint.
Give me a hint.
I'll give you another hint. If it was referencing Girls Gone Wild, it would have to do with something you would do to that girl down below.
Oh, God. My mind is racing. I don't know. You're going to have to just tell me. So
Fort Lickerdale.
Fort Lickerdale. Gotcha.
Let me tell you, this is one place, I don't know about anywhere else, but this is one place that every morning you will see people going into the convenience store and buying one single beer and one single cigarette.
So the party doesn't stop.
No. Listen, they have the 2 o'clock bars. Then they have the 3 o'clock bars, the 4 o'clock bars.
Wow.
Then they have the after hours for 5 and 6 a.m. And then when those close, then there's the private after hours, like they're bars, but they're like speakeasies. Like, you have to know because it's illegal. You know, like there was this place near my studio that's where you would go when everywhere else was closed, and they'd be doing cocaine lines on the bar because, and the police substation was in the same plaza. That describes South Florida right there.
Fort Lickerdale. So I guess if I was down here in my 20s, 30s, I'd be at the 3 and 4 bars. Now in my 50s, I'm at the granola bars. So, things have changed.
That's funny because being in my 50s, before we did this interview, I went next door and bought like a protein bar.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That was my bar.
There you go. So you don't shit your pants.
Right? So anything else you want to share with the fans that we haven't covered yet that may be coming up for you guys or you want to look out for?
Yeah, well, if you're a fan of our band, then you know that we've just released our 7th album on Metal Blade Records. It's called Harbinger, and it's doing very well. It's playing
really good.
Thank you. We're playing a few tunes from that every night. Where it looks like we're going to go home for the winter because no one likes touring in the winter. We're from West Virginia, so it's blustery. So we're going to go home, and I think we're going to go straight into the studio. It's been 8 years since we released like 2 albums, and the guys are so jazzed up after this Fear Factory Cavalier run that they're like, let's go back in the studio. Let's immediately record shit. So I don't know if that means cover songs, an EP, whatever, but we're going to get right back onto it. Yeah.
And one of my favorite cover songs that you do, believe it or not, is a Cars song.
The Moving in Stereo.
Yes. Yeah, that is like such a badass song.
Thank you. We are such big Cars fans, especially like when the bass player sings, like Drive and Moving in Stereo. Those are some of our favorite songs that he sang. And our guitar player, Brian, sounds a lot like him. So we thought, man, let's dig into it. And we had no idea that Sirius XM would gravitate towards it so much, and they play the hell out of it.
Yeah, if you go onto Apple Music, it's like your second most popular song.
Yeah. So I guess if anybody from the Cars is out there listening, and you saw a spike in residuals for a month,
right?
That might have been us.
It's funny because when I was in high school, people used to call and say, "Oh man, you look just like Rick Ocasek."
Yeah.
And I don't know if I took that as a
because
compliment.
Rick Ocasek, I think you're a better looking dude.
I was really skinny.
Yeah.
And I was starting to grow my hair out, so I had that same hairdo, but
the saving grace of that is Rick Ocasek pulled some of the most beautiful women on earth.
And so
his wife.
There you go.
Yeah,
that counts to me.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, one last thing, too.
Yeah.
You talk about Metal Blade. I'll tell you a story about Metal Blade that'll blow your mind.
Okay.
So I lived in L.A. My dad moved me to L.A. in 1980. Imagine a time to move to L.A.
Right.
I mean, I went to Slayer's first show ever. I went to like so many people's first show there. So there was this record store in the Valley called Oz Records. I love talking about this. Anybody that's on Metal Blade. And me and my friends used to go in there, and this dude that was a record store clerk would, show us an album and like, you need to get this album. That's how I got my first Venom album. Showed me Venom. And he would show us all the gigs to go to. That was Brian Slagle.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, when he first started Metal Blade.
He was working the record store?
Yes, and I was like, a few years back, I saw him, and I'm like, man, I gotta tell you, thinking about it now, what a brilliant marketing plan. He goes, shit, I was just a record store clerk. I didn't mean to do that.
That's funny. Brian Slagle was one of the most humble individuals.
Right.
And he changed the face of heavy metal.
He might not be seen here if it weren't for
right.
him.
Yeah, me either. And the interesting thing is, the other great thing about Brian Slagle is he's a testament that heavy metal keeps you young, because he doesn't look like he's aged more than 10 years in the last 40.
Yeah, he looks like he did when he worked at Oz Records.
Yeah, very young.
It's wild,
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You're going to be playing a killer set here at Culture Room.
Yeah.
I'm super excited, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thanks, Dean. Good to talk to you again, my man.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.